Alright, what is up, y'all? It's the Sandman here, back at it again with another reaction video. I love the love that I've been getting on the Black Sabbath reactions, guys, so I'm reacting to another Black Sabbath track that I've not heard, obviously. And it's going to be the first track off of Master of Reality, guys. And that's one of their. I mean, they have a bunch of good albums, but I mean, this is one of their albums that, like, up there for, like, people consider one of their best works. So, yeah, man, looking forward to see how they kick the album off. Sweet Leaf. It's an interesting name because it's not like it wouldn't really doesn't really sound fitting for how heavy they are. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious to see what the song is about, or well, I kind of know what it's about since I kind of looked at the background of it, but yeah, it's kind of seeing how the lyrics are delivered, how the overall sound is, and yeah, man. Not really gonna do too much talking on this one. Obviously, you guys just want to hear me react to it, so let's do that. So Black Sabbath, Sweet Leaf, let's get it. Oh, I'm listening. Love the bass. Love the bass. Nice. Vibrato. Real good. Oh shit. Okay, so like there's about to be like a breakdown or something coming up. So, I'll go back a bit. Don't worry. But yeah, man. One thing I really do like is how in Black Sabbath tracks that I've heard is how Iommi like double tracks a lot of the guitars. Um, and obviously double tracking isn't new. Like I've obviously most bands double track to some degree or another, but um, he does it so stylistically. Like in a couple of his solos that I've heard, it sounds so unique and cool. But even here, as you can see here, like when they so there's the intro and the first time that riff groove slash jam, whatever you want to call it, starts off. It's just the power chords in the back. Second time around, they add the lead line over it, and it's not like piercing above where it's like overshadows the heavy power chords in the background, but it's like it outlines the power chords and it adds like a new accessory, a new flavor to what's going on underneath. So it sounds really cool, man. I love how he does that. It's a simple change, but it like it escalates the song really nicely. But thus far, man, um, I love Geezer Butler, man. I think the bass is the standout part of the song so far, man. That's my favorite part of the song, at least. Um, those fills that he plays or those licks that he plays during like the post verse, like the second main, I guess you can call riff progression, whatever. During the time when the guitar stalls out, he plays some really cool, tasteful licks. Man, I love that. I love it. But yeah, let's see what's gonna happen next. Oh yes. Ah, there it is. Killer drumming too.
Come on now, cry out. Great people don't know what you're about. They put you down and shut you out. You gave to me a new belief, and soon the world will love you sweetly. Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Oh, the world
baby.
did. Ooh.
Come on now, oh yeah, drum it out, baby. All right, oh yeah, I want you out of the sweet deep. Oh yeah.
Nice. Well, there was Sweet Leaf, man. So really cool song, man. First off, I love how the song escalates. First and foremost, that's the one thing I want to say. From the first verse, I mean the first introduction, first verse, it was centered around just the power chords, and you add the lead line over it, and of course the bass is underneath it too. Then you have the solo, right? And there's solo is very chaotic, right? One thing I love about Iommi's soloing is he focuses a lot on accents. Like it's rhythmically very sound. It's not too complex or like um, different modes, scale. Well, I mean, I'm sure he does those elements too. But what I like most about his solos is the accents. It's on rhythm. A lot of his notes he plays like on rhythm, and a lot of those licks and motifs that he plays, he can repeat those over and over, and it would still sound good. One, because of the double tracking effect, that's has that sort of psychedelic effect. That's really cool. I don't really hear that elsewhere really. That's something I really associate with Iommi, to be honest. The way he like does the solos, the double tracked effect that he does there. But I also think like he plays like that descending pentatonic, but he does it in a unique variation each time, and it's like yeah, combined with the drumming, it has a really cool like effect. Like you can start bopping your head to even the solo part of it too. So that's something I find really cool that he does really well. Yeah, I mean drummer, um, really great fills, man. Just like second half of the song, he really comes into play. Um, I mean the instrumental slash solo section, um, he just goes off, man. He just goes off, and Yeah, each member shines on this track. And then during the latter half, when the obviously the song centered around that main jam, right? The dun dun. I mean, the second like the latter half, they close it out with another variation, and this is when the drumming comes into effect. So you have just the guitar, the power chords the first time around. Second verse, you have that plus the lead. Post instrumental, you have the same sort of thing, with the lead guitar and the vibrato kind of adding a nice little layer to the power chords, and then finally the drumming, this tempo switch up sounds a little faster, a little bit more syncopated. So I mean, I don't know if that's the word syncopated. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but it's a cool little variation there. It's subtle, but it's very cool, and it just escalates the song further and further. And I love how they do that, man. And for a first song, it's probably a perfect kind of first track because it's not overly complex, like lyrically, nothing to digest super hard. You just kind of get into a groove. You just start feeling the music, man. It gets you pumped up on like a visceral level to go through the whole album. Not too much thinking. You just get sucked in right away. So I love how very strategic. These guys are very strategic. But yeah, man. Let's talk about the what it's about, man. Sweet Leaf, about the cannabis, about that good grass. You know what I'm saying? Lyrically, makes total sense. A lot. You showed me to my mind. That was a cool little lyric too. I love that. I mean, I like how he said that. And I also like that squares, like the squares want to put you out or something. They want to shut you down. The squares don't know what you're about. Something like that. That little part was really cool. And I think I forgot when exactly this was released. Early '70s, right? So it's like slightly after Counterculture. So I wouldn't know. I don't know if it's ahead of its time necessarily, because I'm sure like this was a popular subject. Even it still is today. Obviously, it's more like on the way to being, accepted fully. Not fully, but like accepted like legally from a legal perspective. But still way ahead of like. It's cool to see how they were, work was done about this subject like back then. And yeah, I'm curious. I got to look into the history behind it because I'm curious how things were back then. But it's funny, yeah. The intro is funny when he started coughing and stuff. That was cool. I didn't expect that. Kind of scared me for a little bit, but then I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, man, cool song, man. I also read a little factoid that this was like influence for stoner metal and stoner rock. And yeah, totally. That groove says it all. That jam says it all, man. Yeah, I can totally see that. I've heard a couple songs by stoner bands, I think. I don't know if Mastodon's kind of. I would say they're more like doom sludge. I don't know if they're really stoner metal or something, but Witchcraft, there's a band called Witchcraft that I think falls under it. The guitar sounds a lot like Iommi. I'm sure he was influenced heavily by Iommi. So Witchcraft, I heard like 2 or 3 songs by that band. I encourage you guys, if you like Black Sabbath, looking for something new, more recent, look up the band Witchcraft. And they have some pretty cool material that I think you guys will like. Just throwing that in there. But anyways, yeah, man. I also like one thing. Last thing before I wrap this up, I gotta touch on that repeating lick that he played to before the solo kicked in. I love that. It's simple but really effective. For me, it doesn't really take like super shredding, advanced licks, arpeggio, sweep picking to impress me, man. Stuff like that really just all I need. I mean, the best things are the most simplest things. Then again, you gotta add new variations so you can sound original. So I understand why things get more complex. You know what I mean? And I'm cool with that too. But overall, like, great song, Sweet Leaf. Yeah, that groove is great. Really, really would be great to jam on a track like this. And that's just infectious, man. It's in my head already. I can't stop moving my head to it, even though the song's over. But yeah, man, I like the song. I'm gonna keep the Black Sabbath videos coming. So hope you all enjoyed this reaction. It's the Sandman checking out. Peace.